Matthew Tamzosh. He's a freshman, and he's going to give us a little bit of comedy. So let's give him a round of applause. On deck, just on deck, we have Myra, Emily, and Sophie. Let's give up.
Hey, you pronounced my name correctly. Woo! Oh, man. So good to be at Beacon today. And I'm not just doing that pandering crap that other comedians do. Oh, I'm so happy to be at Oklahoma. No, you're not. Happy to be at Oklahoma. No offense to people at Oklahoma. No, I'm happy to be at Beacon because it's the only school where I can walk down the hallway humming a song I heard in social studies, and then be stopped and say, "Hey man, World War I was a freaking travesty." Kids here are smart. Seriously though, I'm happy to be at Beacon because at my old school I had to run every little bit of my act through by the teachers first, and if they didn't like it, it was out. Here, Mr. Law was like, we let a few, afterwards slip by. I was like, thank you, kind sir. And then he said it couldn't be racist, sexist, or homophobic, and then there goes my act. No, I'm kidding. I hope you enjoyed anyway, though. Alright, so, want to hear one of the jokes that they wouldn't let me do at my old school? Totally lame. It's more relevant now than ever, though, because, we're spending billions and billions of dollars on abstinence-only research, and I'm not saying I agree or disagree, I don't know what your beliefs are, but we're spending way too much money. All we need is the $60 to buy a Dungeons & Dragons manual, and I guarantee you, you will never have to worry about them getting laid ever again. Because all their conversations with girls will always end up like this. "Hello there, fair maiden. Would you like to see my plus 21 staff of compensation?" And the conversation will end right there. Oh, man. Speaking of the economic downturn, they're also thinking of stopping, funding for making pennies because it's way more money than it's worth. And I think that's terrible. Who will the nickel look up to and make them look better? I mean, everyone has that friend in their circle of acquaintances. There's always like, that guy or that guy. That doesn't really add much to the conversation, but, it's like I just made a joke about Dungeons & Dragons, which means I probably play it. But I'm not that asshole over there. It's like, oh man, 420.
Which one?
Hilarious. And there's not only one group of guys that's like that. The one guy. There's the guy that makes you feel better, and then there's there's the jock, the nerd, all those stereotypes, and then there's the guy that's friends with all the girls. That oh no, we're just friends, but I'm hugging you, but I have an erection, but it's okay, we're just friends. It's okay. Shh. Trying to grab a little side boob or something like that. And the best way to get a side boob is to use the Christian side hug. I don't know if any of you have heard of this before, but there's this hip hop group a Christian hip hop group that has suggested that hugging someone from the front will cause sexual urges. So they recommend that you hug from the side, and it is the worst song ever. But if this works out, because there are things like that have worked out, condoms work out. I'm looking forward to the side sweaty teenage makeout session that doesn't really amount to anything, and afterwards you have to side jerk off, and then there's the side. Deeply looking forward to the side job. But last month was Math History Month. I didn't know that. It was also the month before that was Teenage Anorexia Month, but I think it's a bit redundant, don't you? I always thought they were pretty much the same thing. You add, you subtract, and then you wish you were dead. Who here wishes they were dead? Who had no time to work on their act and is now making this up off the top of their head? Hey, finally, just to set it off, I always like to leave my audience thinking before I go. Have you ever wondered, if the Trix Rabbit actually got the cereal? He would totally just have explosive diarrhea? The guy's used to eating, carrots and celery and crap, and now all of a sudden he's having, heart stars and... No. Just like to... Looking for a side hug here.